Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Karex and we're playing as Muscovy. Right now we're in a war against Kazan, Uzbek, and Chagatai. Wait, and Yarkand. Holy cow. I think we might need to get out of this war just on the basis that, just kind of on the basis that we're still fighting a lot of guys and it's going to be very hard to get these out of here. Kazan is at least low enthusiasm, right? But again, guys, I just want to stress, this is, of course, we are teaching not Muscovy, but how to play the game Europa Universalis. This is a tutorial for complete beginners. And if you are sort of just joining us randomly, because YouTube's really weird, it'll throw out like random videos like episode 9. It's like, this is episode 9. Feel free to start at the beginning. There's a playlist link down below in the description. And we're building a foundation, right? We're playing the game thematically. We're building a foundation on how to play this game. So things aren't going to quite make sense. We've already taught some concepts. We've worked through some processes. We've sort of developed a process for navigating the world and making decisions through the first episodes, and we're working off of that. So things might not quite make sense jumping into this episode. So just throwing that out there, guys. But if anyone does have questions and stuff, right, just post in the comments down below. I read all the comments. Meanwhile, we are winning this war pretty decisively. It says 21% war score. It could be referring to all the countries combined. Okay, we need to go look and see if we have a different specific war score against Kazan itself. No, it is saying 21%. 21%. Now, I think one thing we could do is we could take their fort. They don't even want to do that. Yeah, we have to fight longer. We have to fight longer. Because they're not even willing to give us one province. Unless we take the junk land. Nope. Nope, this isn't working for me. We need to, we are winning the war, so there's no, it's like, why retreat when you're winning? We are, like, decisively winning the war. We have more troops, but manpower is becoming a serious issue. Right now, we essentially have to kind of make a decision. Do we just rush for Uzbek and try to force them out? While the rest of our troops basically kind of just, I don't know, hang out? Like, we have all these regiments that are completely missing guys. Like, completely missing troops. We are 12,000 dudes in the hole. That is insane. That's not good. These guys are, like, completely, right? This is what happens when we don't have manpower. Now, we do have manpower. We will reinforce to a point. We'll reinforce. But for the most part, this is not great. It's not great. I'm going to let these guys move on and just rush to Uzbek. These are our mercs. If those guys take losses, that's fine. Those are our mercs plus our allies, our subjects and things. Hopefully those guys are just going to kind of be... I'm going to move these guys in, and we're going to try to carpet siege Kazan as best as we can. It is going to cost a lot of men, a lot of attrition, but that's going to be the plan. So I'm detaching siege. I'm grabbing smaller stacks and spreading them around. You can feel free to pause. You know, I always pause the game when I do this, right? This is something that we're kind of micromanaging here. I'm just splitting the stacks. I'm just kind of making a bunch of little groups. I'm not really that concerned about sort of the details of it. Oh man, that's a really good 3-star general, whoever's over here in the stack. Morale of navies. We don't need a morale of navies guy, and we certainly don't need to play Diplo to do it. I guess we're going to lose legitimacy. No. Legitimacy is pretty good. Legitimacy is pretty good. Yeah, we kind of need to step on Uzbek, right? If we're going to get them to take us seriously here, we need to step on Uzbek. What's the supply limit here? We've probably gone through multiple winters. See, these guys are taking forever to navigate because it's we have a province that's going to actually enhance a specific... It's going to enhance Novgorod. We can increase local taxation, which this is a pretty good province, right? High tax rate. So we could increase, or we could increase manpower. It's good for manpower too. We could increase its trade power as well, which could give us more of this money, right? Right now we're collecting 4.66. We could try to increase that by increasing its local trade power. Kind of an interesting idea, potentially. I'm curious what that'll do for us. Let's wait a month and see how that changes. 46%. That could have been the wrong decision. 46 to 43. We're making about 0.3 ducats a month more because of that. That ended up making a big difference. Okay, Kazan's about to be 100%. They are 100% sieged out. 100% sieged, though. But they still are saying no. They're still saying no on the basis, right? On the basis that they still have allies that are happy to be in the war with them. These guys are still at high. I think it's possible we could get Uzbek out. It's possible we could get Uzbek out if we sit on him. Let's see how this feels. For Uzbek, that is. They're at medium. If Uzbek leaves, I think everything falls apart. Nope, they're not feeling it though. Losing a lot of men just walking around, you know, Russian winters and such. Oh man. Okay, we might need to get out of the war a little bit earlier than we wanted to. Unfortunately, the alliance network here is just too big. It's too big. It's too big. I'm just noticing they're going to start re-sieging all this stuff. And I don't really want to come down here and fight them because we're about 5,000 men in the hole. I mean, we're getting 300 men per month fresh, and 700 are getting put to the battlefield per month out of the 1,000 that we have. But we need 4,000 to fully reinforce our armies. Dun dun dun. That is a good battle. Unless they reinforce from here, but it looks like we should win that in time. They're locked in, so they're going to be fighting us. Okay, they did reinforce. Not good. Not good. Not good. Zan's now feeling at medium enthusiasm. They're back at low. That was bad. We just lost about 10,000 men there. Hey, that happens. We got to get out. We got to get out of this war, I think, unfortunately. We need to get out of the war. So what can we do here? Ideally, we need to break their alliance with, like, we need to sever some alliances here because the next time this is just going to be too frustrating. We're going to... We have permanent claims on all of this stuff, right? So ideally, we'd kind of like to take all of it. But... what we could try to do is we could try to take, like, a line down here. I'm thinking about returning this province to Perm because they have a core on it. So Perm wants this province, and they have it sort of, it's part of their realm in their mind. If we can do this and we can have them break their alliance with Uzbek, we're so close on it. Well, no, are we? Maybe Perm's not going to get their core back yet. Perm's not going to get their thing back. It's too expensive. It's too expensive doing that. This is all they're really willing to take. That doesn't, strategically, that doesn't really do much for us. We could just take their fort, just their fort, and have them break an alliance or two. But there's also like an annoying stack of rebels here, and I don't know if those guys are going to stick around or if those guys are actually going to kind of move on. I think we take their fort. You know, it took us it took us like a year to siege that. In the next war, we'd have to siege it again. It limited our ability to navigate the area. It's their most valuable province. I think we take their fort. We have them annul. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the treaties and annul their alliance with Uzbek, annul their alliance with Yarkin. So the next time we go and fight these guys, hopefully their alliance network will not be as strong. Okay? Hopefully it will just not be as strong. Let's get everybody home. And let's prepare for the war against Novgorod. Okay? So we took one piece of land. Not optimal, but we did win the war. And hopefully we have destabilized Kazan to some level. I'm hoping these dudes actually move away in a second once the end of the month ticks and their AI updates. Because they are trying to, these rebels are trying to beat up Kazan. They're not trying to beat us up. So hopefully they just leave. We'll have to see if they leave or not. We do actually have the ability to get this technology. However, we also desperately need to core the land we just took, right? We just took Kazan. We have to make this a core, but it's under siege, so we can't do that. You know what? I'm going to just get the technology for now. We will core this ASAP. It's 15% overextension, right? That's not good, but we're letting our war exhaustion come down too. Let's get everybody home, please. But now that we have money, we can actually build temples. This right here says you can build province improvements. It's saying churches, castles, and marketplaces. The marketplaces, those are good to build on centers of trade, but we actually are going to get a little bit more. We're already kind of dominating this node, and by removing Novgorod, we're going to dominate it even more. We don't necessarily need to pay money to build marketplaces. Marketplaces are totally valid, and you want to build the marketplaces. It organizes, when you go in the build tab here, it organizes it by the most valuable differentials here. And it is good to build them on your trade centers, right? This is a special trade market town. And we can see that in the trade map mode, right? Trade center, trade center, trade center, trade center. These are the trade centers. So we could find the ones that we own and build marketplaces on them. Totally valid. However, I think we're going to get a little bit more return on our investment building the temples. In fact, we can get a 0.2 per month income by building the temple in Moscow. So we're just going to build a bunch of temples because, quite honestly, we're making good money, and this is an investment in the future. That is an investment in the future. Okay, so we'll just spend 600 bucks on making a bunch of good temples. Okay, what's going on here? There we go. They are moving off. They are moving off. That's perfect. There is going to be a rebellion in Kazan eventually, right? There's a number of reasons for that. So hopefully these guys will just start ravaging Kazan itself. Our troops are coming home. We're actually on speed 4 right now, letting it run a little bit. We need more admin to be able to core this, right? We need about 60 to core that. We have the rebellion in a few different places, it looks like. Great Horde, we have rebellion down here potentially brewing. We have rebellion in Kazan potentially brewing. So we will continue to monitor that. About 1 or 2 months away from getting the core started. Okay, well, we don't want these guys to be standing on each other in such large stacks. They're taking interest in just standing around. Okay, we'll get that core going. Someone has died. We need to get another admin guy. These guys are very, very good. We do have a little bit of inflation, but it's not significant. This guy will still bop that down. It'll take about 5 years for him to work that down. I still think that's probably the best thing we can do. So we can get this guy hired. He's going to reduce this inflation, right? This inflation just makes everything cost more, which basically increases our expenses by 0.5%. It adds up. It does add up. And you get inflation when you take money in war, when you basically, have other countries pay you a bunch of lump sum money. You take a bunch of inflation when you sort of do that. Our troops are just kind of like very, yeah, this is, we got 12, 14,000 there. The interesting thing is, I'm just wondering, should we just hit this button? Oh, we should have hit that button before we were doing the build cost. It's only local development cost. Oh, okay, it's only local. I'm just going to hit this and not worry about it. It'll be fine. Oh, we did do this. We can get state maintenance modifier and harsh treatment cost reduction. I'm just going to hit this button. You could wait to try to optimize that before you're actually going to use some of those elements, but we always are paying state maintenance, right? We always pay a state maintenance, so getting a little discount on that, sure. That works. That works. So the war against Novgorod, right, is going to be available in 1462, is when our truce with Novgorod is going to end. Oh, what we could do with our diplomat is we can actually say, hey, this guy really likes us, right? Or did. He did. Now he doesn't as much. What happened? Do we need to go back and improve relations with this guy, or did we lose a royal marriage or something? No. Because what we could do is we could actually try to start an annexation, a diplomatic annexation of some of these smaller nations. It's saying we can actually get a military technology. That could be good to get up to Tech 5. Novgorod's at Tech 4. Here's the thing, though. Remember how we're starting to get a larger institution penalty here. We are going to have to deal with that. And we actually now have a discount, a development discount in Muscovy. What we could try to do is we could actually try to develop Muscovy. We could try to develop Muscovy, although it's already really high development on its own. But if we add some here, we'll get 3% Renaissance. We can actually boost this up by spending these points instead. Instead of spending these points on getting technologies, we need to get rid of that technology penalty. So what we're going to do here is let's try to get the Renaissance to be sort of propagating in Moscow. See, there's a click. And it went up sort of, we can sort of see it going up. I'm going to click on the base tax one because we don't have a lot of base tax. Click on the development one while we're sort of development poor. Click on this, and this is painful. We just blew through a bunch of points. We're not quite there yet. We're gonna have to click this probably another few times. If we're getting about 5% per, we'll probably have to click this another 7 or 8 times. But that's fine. That's fine. We just gotta save up our points to be able to do that. Prestige is good. I think a little bit of ducats is not that big of a deal. We're making good money, I think. We're still making good money. We are paying a certain amount for reinforcements, so that's actually sort of... And we also have our forts maintained. Let's actually go through and mothball some of these forts. We're going to keep the one on Kazan because there is going to be a rebellion here. That fort right there will make it easier for us to fight that rebellion. But I'm going to go through elsewhere and get rid of these forts. Not get rid of them, but just sort of mothball them, right? And we don't need these ones. There's no rebellions in these areas. Okay, we definitely want these guys to be standing by, because these are mercenaries, right? Which are a little bit more expensive. Okay, so this is talking about a province. We can increase the base production, base tax, or base manpower in a province. So let's go see what that province looks like. Usually what I like to do is I like to try to focus on, depending on how I want to develop this with this event, I'm usually looking at if it's already specialized. I could try to specialize it even more by, like, if there's a lot of base tax, we could keep increasing base tax. Therefore, temples will get a big boost here. This is just a 1-1-1 province. It's not specialized in any way. It also has a grain, which is not a particularly valuable resource, but this does synergize, I believe, with manpower and force limit. So we could actually opt to do base manpower in this region. And I think that'll benefit from the grain a little bit, potentially. Let's get these guys down here kind of like standing by ready for this rebellion. Okay, we could gain a stability here. We already have 2 stability. Stability is absolutely incredibly amazing. Although if we don't, we can just instead... Oh man, that's tricky. Free stability is so good. But I think we'll get our patriarch authority up, right? Because that's giving us missionary strength. That's giving us, well, if we hover over it, we'll see how we're getting a little bit of missionary strength. We're getting unrest modifier, and we're getting local manpower modifier. All good stuff. All good stuff. Also, it made the clergy happy. We said that we wanted to potentially seize land, because this will actually give us more crown land that we can then give away. First, we could summon a diet. Let's do another one of these. Let's do another one of these to figure out if there's a little mission we can do for any of these guys. Sorry guys, I had a sneeze there. Alright, we're back. This will actually make this will pay us a little bit of money to get the base production up in a particular region. Manpower at least 50%. I don't know if we're actually going to be waiting that. It's going to take a long time to get to 50% manpower. It takes 10 years. Okay. It takes 10 years to get to 100% manpower. So that means it takes 5 years to get to 50% manpower. If you accept this this one right here, just a little nuance thing, this implies that you will get 50% before you go to war. If you go to war, you fail this. You fail this one. We're going to be attacking Novgorod way before 5 years from now. And It's going to be 3 years. We're 3 years out from Novgorod, and we're at a deficit in manpower. So we're actually, it'll take us like 11 years to get our manpower back in full. And that's assuming, you know, we're going to, yeah, so we can't do the nobility one. That's fine. Totally fine. We can't do for the nobility. We could look in, the clergy already is super happy. We could just do this one for the merchant guilds, the burghers. So they just want us to go here, and they just want us to dev this up. It is what it is. It's kind of unfortunate because we are really trying to focus more. We got 20 years to do that, so I'm not going to worry about it. But now that we've made them all a little bit happier by calling the diet, that makes them all a little happier. We can actually seize some land from them. So let's yoink some land back. And then I'm going to go to the clergy here, and I'm going to actually give them this, the religious state. It's going to lower their equilibrium, their loyalty equilibrium. That's fine. It's already high enough. And we're going to be able to get 1 administrative power per month. So right now we're getting 8. Once we get that, now we're getting 9. That's good. That's good. That's really, really strong. And we gave away some crown land for that, but we had to seize crown land to have enough to stay above 30%, right? We don't want to drop below 30% crown land. We don't want to drop below 30%. Looks like we have finished a mission. We have a high income. Again, construction cost reduction. Wow, if we had synergized that a little bit better, if we had done that a little bit better, although our income is going up because we're building those temples. Those temples are directly increasing our income. We're still spending 2 ducats a month because of reinforcements, and we're spending 2 ducats a month because of mercenaries. If we didn't have mercenaries, we didn't have reinforcements, we'd be making tons of money. We've maxed these guys out at almost 200. Let's pull them back, and let's get these guys annexed. Annex. And it is going to cost us some diplomatic points. It's going to be 5 per month. It's going to take 2 years to do this. We're making about 6 per month, so this is kind of not great. Just on the basis that we're not going to be making any diplomatic power really per month. So we're going to be a little behind on diplo technology. That's fine, but these guys will be integrated in our country. And we'll just slowly start gobbling up our little vassals and just solidifying our country and taking more of a direct interest in the production and the taxation and the manpower and stuff that these guys can provide to us, this land can provide to us. Because eventually we're going to want to solidify this whole area so we can form a really nice Russia. But I'm kind of thinking, let's spend our points right now on trying to really like trip across the... Whoa! It's saying it's going to cost 90 per click now. See, the cost goes up significantly. The higher the development, the higher the cost goes up. But we've already sort of committed to this. We've already committed to this. We're very close. We're only about 3 clicks away. We're only about 3 clicks away. So we need to earn up about 300 more monarch points, and we will have the Renaissance in this country. Otherwise, we'd have to wait forever. We could see Venice has gotten it. Florence has gotten it. It's 10 years, and this is as far as it's gotten. Now, don't get me wrong. France is working. Flanders actually has it, right? The Renaissance is spreading. We can see it spreading, and it will eventually just get up here naturally, but we can't wait that long. We need to take it into our own hands, and that's what that does. Unfortunately, if we're in Italy, we could just chill. That's great. But either way, we're investing in our country. This is a very powerful province. We have a lot of building slots here that as we unlock new buildings, we can get more buildings into Muscovy. Or, sorry, we're Muscovy. This is Moscow or Muscova. Muscova. I'm not sure how exactly like we're reading this here. I'm being a doofus here, but Moscow, right? This is Moscow. There it is. Over here. See, it says Moscow over here. There we go. In the Moscow region, right? Okay, it looks like one of these guys is maxed out, right? We got this guy to 200, so we're going to right-click the diplomat, pull him back. We're going to send this diplomat to... We can make Perm happy. Perm's a big guy. Make him happy for a little bit. We are double-checking our truce with Novgorod. It looks like that is going to end in March 1462. So we have 2 years still, and we have a red banner has popped up for our unrest. Unrest is like imminent. We're at 80% progress. They are going to be popping up right here. Okay. They're going to be popping up right here. Let's get our leader in charge. We've actually lost. Dmitri has died. Dmitri has died. Feels bad. But that's how it goes sometimes. We can see here, if we click, there's going to be 7,000 dudes rising up. Okay, 7,000 rising up. Let's move these troops into here so they're just sort of hanging out together. 16,000 anticipating the 16,000 waiting for the 7,000 to rise up on us. Kazan's going to be rising up next, and we'll be ready for that. Looks like there is actually a little bit of Novgorodian rebellion happening, but I think in a couple of years that will go away in a couple of years. I think by the time we attack Novgorod, that will have died down. Looks like we have another sort of clergy event here. We can lose some prestige in order to get more patriarchal. This is a permanent benefit as long as we can keep working it up. Prestige comes and goes. Prestige is like a currency in this game, to be honest. You get it by winning battles and doing certain things and winning wars and stuff, but it's always going back to zero. So if you got it, spend it if you got it. It's always, if it's below zero, it's trying to go up to zero, so it kind of works for you to even be at negative prestige. Obviously, it's good to have prestige because it gives you benefits for having it, so it's always good to have more and to maintain it. You're not literally looking for ways to spend it, but if you have to spend it in an event to get something more permanent, that's totally worth it. Looks like the winter here is causing some attrition in this area. Like a 1.1% attrition here. Let's send some of our dudes home. Oh, we integrated those guys. That was quick. That was really quick. We could just sort of keep that integration train rolling. We could absolutely start integrating these guys potentially. We got to keep them at the 190, right? That's the magic number. To annex, we need them at a 190 opinion. Not hard to do on subjects that love us. We just got to work on them with our diplomats. It looks like these guys are looking to get alliances with us. We do technically have extra relationship slots, so it is something that we could think about doing. We also have an empty rival slot. Let's rival Kazan. Let's rival Kazan. We must have eclipsed Kazan, and now we've rivaled them again. Yeah, we eclipsed Kazan. We got too powerful for Kazan. We lost the valid rival, and then it just recalculated itself and it gave us a rival again. So the game is weird like that sometimes. Sometimes the game's kind of weird and funny. So we were rivals to Kazan. The game kicked us out of that, and then we got it back again. I don't think we want to ally these guys. I honestly, you know, these guys maybe. These guys are a little bit stronger. These guys are pretty weak. In fact, one thing we could try to do is we could try to get a claim on these guys, right? We could try to build a claim on these dudes. But I think if we're really looking ahead here and we look at our missions, I think if we're looking ahead, the Consolidate Russia will actually have us getting, I think by finishing Novgorod, we'll get a claim on the Russian region. And we can actually go and see, okay, which of these areas fall into the Russian region. Okay, this falls into the Russian region. This guy falls in the Russian region. And we're going to be wanting to attack these guys. Yeah, all of this is going to be part of the Russian region. So we're going to get free claims on all of this area. So we don't need to build claims on those guys. Unless we could build a claim on this province specifically, because that's not in the Russian region. But right now they're asking us if we want to ally them. I think the reason why we ally these guys is to prevent them from getting killed by Lithuania or something like that. So we will ally them to defend them, to protect them. Looks like Livonian Order is getting beat up by Lithuania. Unfortunately, it looks like there's a big war here, and I don't know if Livonian Order is going to do too well in that. Teutonic Order is fighting there too, but it doesn't look so hot. Doesn't look so hot. Okay, the year is 1462. We are going to be attacking Novgorod for the second war, the second conquest of Novgorod. Yeah, we can get an extra royal marriage, sure. We already have our heir. We want that heir to kind of take over if we could. Unfortunately, we still have this unrest here that's just like sitting there, just waiting. It's taunting us over here. Let's get these dudes up here. Let's try to get like a fighting force up here. We'll have to evaluate Novgorod because we're very, very close to, I think, potentially just... let's bring our diplomats home. There's a few things we're going to have to do. We do not have a truce with Novgorod anymore. We can attack them. We can attack them anytime we want. I think what we're going to do is we might actually try to integrate these guys, and then I think we're going to seek that war against Novgorod ASAP in the next episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.